Do you say this, maybe when the kids are older, then I'll, whatever. Maybe when there's more money in the bank, then I can, maybe when the economy is better, maybe when I'm older, I can't do that. I would have done that if I was younger, but now that I'm older, do you say those kinds of things? I think we get a bad case of like the maybe whens when we're in midlife. I think something happens to us where it just gets too scary to make a change. It gets too scary to make big leaps. And I think it's scary not because we're weaker, but I think it's scary because by midlife, we've built a kind of life. You know, maybe we struggled in our 20s and 30s, and now we're at a place in our 40s and 50s where it's like, I've worked hard for this thing. It may not be everything I wanted, but I've worked hard. I can't imagine taking a leap now, because what if it all goes south? And then what? Then I'm back to living like I did in my 20s, where I don't know what the future holds, and I'm just winging it out here in the wild, wild west of life. And so instead, we kind of just live mediocre lives, lukewarm lives, wishing, hoping, and then kind of appeasing ourselves by saying things like, maybe when this happens, then I'll think about doing that, whatever that is. Starting a business or moving or switching a job, switching your career, switching industries, writing a book. I think the universe found you today. I think the universe slipped this video into your feed and is wanting to ask you, what if you begin to let go of those maybe wins? Just what could that look like if you did? There's no shame in that. I think our body does us a great service to try and keep us safe. So when we feel that way, when we think those things, I think we don't need to feel embarrassed about that. And I'm not trying to convince you, because here's the thing. Maybe you truly have a plan for the future where you go, in 20 years when the kids grow up, I will do it, and you fully have that plan. I'm not trying to rush that. If that's what your goal is and you're serious about that, like, yay, you've got the long game planned, and that's great for you. But I'm talking to you who goes, I really love to do that now. Like, I use those maybe whens because I just can't imagine how to do it. Although I'd love to do it now. I just don't know how. And so we kind of stick with those maybe whens as like a hope. Kind of tuck them away and hope that they'll come true. Here's the thing. When we have those mantras, those maybe when mantras, they keep moving further every time. So maybe when the kids graduate and the kids graduation comes, and then we go, well, I can't do that now, because maybe when my parents get better, because right now I have to take care of them. Now the kids are out of the house, but now I'm taking care of my parents. And so maybe when my parents get to a place where I can leave them, then I'll, or we think maybe when we have so much money in the bank, and maybe that time comes because we've saved and we've worked, but then the economy's really crazy. And so it's like, maybe when the economy gets better, then do you know what I mean? Like the line always keeps moving until we decide it stops and that the maybe when happens today. And so if that's you, if you're ready, if you're like, I'd love to step out and do this thing that I've been wanting to do or thinking about, and I kind of feel it calling me, or I don't even know what specifically is calling me, but I know I need to make a change. I know I need to do something differently. Then I want to provide this opportunity tonight, today, wherever you are, to just like hold your hand, metaphorically, be present with you, and let's say, what if maybe today starts today? What if maybe later starts today? Like, what if today is the first day that I decided that I am going to do that thing, and it starts today? Because guaranteed there's something that you can do today to put that plan in motion. So, like, for example, I'm starting a business and I don't know the full plans, and I'll make a video about this because I'd love to take you with me on the behind the scenes of how I'm starting it, all the thinking that's going into it and the planning, and then watching me build it and work up to this first 1K, like first make the first $1,000. And I'd love to take you with me on that journey because I think it's fun to watch how people do that, and then we get inspired as well. But I know that there are things that I can do, even though I don't know the full plan. I don't quite yet know how it's going to work out. I can do today something that puts me on the path where I'm like, let's begin the progress. So maybe the first thing I do is I write it in my journal and say, yes, in 2026, I'm going to do this, right? So what I did was I started talking about it. I started telling people I'm starting a business. And that's big for me because once I start to tell people, it kind of sets me on the motion, because I know those people are going to come to me and be like, how's your business? And I don't want to show up and be like, what business? Oh, well, I put that on, I haven't done anything yet. So for me, the thing that like kickstarts it is I start talking about it out loud. But maybe for you, it's like writing it in a journal. Maybe for you, it's buying the URL. Maybe for you, it's, beginning to research. Maybe for you, it's going to, going on to a conference about it, or getting a book and starting to read what you need to read. Or if you're a writer, maybe the first thing is you open the document and you go, book to be finished, in 2026, and here's the first paragraph of the book. Whatever it is, there's a distinct thing we can do to move our mindset from maybe when to it starts today. And if you're feeling that urge, then I want you to know I'm here with you, and the universe found us, connected us together. You found this video in your feed, and that's amazing. And I'm so, so happy to be with you on this journey. And so I want you to know something. I want you to know that whether or not you're making this change from like wanting to do something different in life because you have this dream, or wanting to make a change in your life because you feel stuck. So whether or not you're hoping for something better, or whether or not you're like, I've always wanted to do this thing, I want us to start from this place. We have permission to change our lives. Like if you just put your hand on your heart and you say, I have permission to change my life. Sometimes that's the very first step, the very first thing we need. What is the permission that you need to give yourself? Maybe it's I give myself permission to hope again. Because maybe you've been disappointed because you've tried something and it hasn't worked. Or maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's that you're considering everybody else in the thought process. And you need permission to just say, it's important to me, so it's important to do. I'd love to hear in the comments if you're giving yourself a different kind of permission. I'd love to hear what that is. But let's do it together. I mean, this is the reason why I'm making these videos, is because I think that there are people out there who desperately want to shift their lives, and they either don't know how or they don't know yet what they want. And if that's you, I'll make another video where I talk about, like, if you feel the desire but you don't quite know what you want, what does that look like? You just know something has to change. Then I think that's important too, to figure out, like, what is it that I want? Because it's hard to take a step